Good morning. So kind of an interesting one. I was just talking to a guy at the gym. We talk up there a lot of times. He's an older guy that super friendly, and we get along really well. Just end up talking, and I don't even get to finish my workout a lot of times. I'll just talk through it, but that's okay. I think sometimes that's important too. So anyway, I don't know how we even got on the topic, but we started talking about one of my patients that has very high blood pressure. It's like stroke or heart attack level. And I've told her many times, and she's been told by, more doctors before she ever came and saw me, so it's not news to her, but that's what she's at risk for, is having a heart attack or a stroke or dying, death, basically. But she's okay with that. I had felt like God at some point in her life, early on in this blood pressure thing, felt like God was telling her not to take any blood pressure medication, and that she should just trust him with her blood pressure. And basically she felt like she needed to do that. Like if she started taking blood pressure medication, that she was letting God down, that she was showing him that she didn't trust him. And I was like, man, that it's such a tough, I think everybody, people I tell this story to, everyone says, well, yeah, but maybe God brought you doctors into her life to tell her that she needs her blood pressure down, tell her the risks and that sort of thing. And maybe, but I guess I get it, because if you had this conversation with God and you felt like God, like you strongly were convinced that God told you, don't take blood pressure medication, I'll take care of you, then yeah, it would feel like you were letting him down, or you were telling him that you didn't trust him if you started taking blood pressure medication. So I kind of get it. And if she's okay with dying, for the sake of trusting God, then I don't know. Then I guess who cares? Now she is worried that she might have a heart attack or a stroke and basically become a burden to her family, that they'd have to take care of her for the rest of her life if she did live through it. So she second guesses it. But again, if you had that, you felt like it was an agreement between you and God, it would be really hard to go back on that. No matter what logic would say. And so I tell her, and basically from the doctor standpoint, is I tell her, I'm going to document this. I'm putting this in the chart that we talked about it. And she's like, oh yeah, every time they tell me that they're going to put in there that you told me that I need to get my blood pressure lower, and that I said I'm not going to do it. And we document that, and if you do that, then you're kind of off the hook. If she dies or something, they can't come back and say like that we didn't warn her or whatever. And she's okay with that. She's like, yeah, you should put it in your chart and say that I adamantly said I'm not going to do it, because ultimately it's up to her. We can't force her to do that. It's just an interesting concept, something to think about, because to most of us, probably 99.9% of everybody else would be like, oh, she's stupid, that's so dumb. I don't know. At the same time, she's got that faith of a mustard seed that I'm a bit envious of. I don't know that I could do it. It's one of those, I don't know what her family situation is like. I know that she has at least a husband. I'm not sure if she has kids. I think she has kids. I think they're grown, and maybe even grandkids at this point. That's what would make it so tough, is don't you want to be around as long as you possibly can for your grandkids? I don't know. Again, and I'm coming up with all the logical, all these reasons that you should take blood pressure medication and get it under control and be healthy, but that's the opposite of faith. Logic and faith are kind of tugging on either end of this rope. It's a tug of war. And she's got the faith part. She says if that's God's plan, then she's okay with it. Basically, if it's God's plan for her to be around for 20 more years and spend a lot of time with her grandkids, then that's what she's happy to do. If he wants to take her away from this world early, then she's happy. So it's tough. It's something to think about. Like I always tell you guys, I like to get your wheels turning. I like you to start thinking about these sorts of things and just, stimulate thought. And something to think about today is, do you have the faith of a mustard seed? Do you have the faith to do something like that, to do something life-changing, or to be okay with dying for what you believe in, to be okay with dying because you felt like God was telling you to do something? Again, think about it. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.